Okay, so let's see how we make a thing in Inventor. And we're just going to make a block. In another video, I'll show you how to make a cylinder attached to that block. And then in another video, I'll give demonstrations of what we actually do. So this is very, very simplistic. It's just how to make your first solid shape in here. So first thing I'm going to do is I notice I've gone through my startup and I'm in an IPT file and it's just called part one. And so I'll save that. Remember, we always have to save our work. So I'm going to save that somewhere. I'll get it onto my 320 spring 2025. And there's probably something in here for mechanical stuff. Maybe not. I need a new folder for Inventor. There we go. And I'll just call it part one. I don't need to be fancy about it. Okay, so the way we start is we have to visualize. I want to make a block. And so the block has a length and a width, and then I extrude, I pull up a height. It's almost exactly like SketchUp, except I don't see a plane to do it on. So I have to tell it where I'm going to start the sketch. So I'll go start sketch, and it says, where's the bottom? Where does my sketch go? Which one of these planes? And I can make other weird planes all over the place. It doesn't matter, but I'm just going to put it on the ground. So here we go. You can see I just select it and left click, click, and then it shows me that, and it always shows it to me sideways. I don't know what's up with that. So I'm going to turn it so it's straight up, and I'm going to make a shape. And look, I can make all these different shapes. Oh my gosh. But I'm just going to do a rectangle. And I like to start things on center. It doesn't matter. All these different ways to draw a shape. Let's just make a very simple rectangle. So I'm going to click, and so my center, if I get close, bink, it snaps in there, it turns green. Bink, left click and come out. Now, this is very typing oriented. So I'm going to make one uh, maybe 3 inches, 3. And if I hit the tab, it goes into the other direction. See how it's in the other box? 3, 3. Enter. And there's my 3 by 3. And it's good to have all these dimensions on things. And you'll learn about that later. If it doesn't have dimensions, it's not as useful to us. But what's really cool is if I double click on that dimension, I can just type it and it turns to 4. And that's why I put it on the center so that it would go both ways. Double click, 2. Isn't that cool? But I'm going to put it back to 3 by double click 3. When I'm done, it's a lot like Revit. Bang, I have to say I'm done sketching or nothing else works. See how it's all grayed out? There we go. So it says now that I've made a sketch and it's called sketch 1. That's good to know. Now what I want to do, I want to do the equivalent of press pull in SketchUp, which is extrude. So I'm going to left click my extrude button, and it kind of knows to do the last sketch. I can pick and choose and do stuff if there's multiples. Then I have to decide which way I want it to go. Maybe I want it to go both ways. Maybe I want it to go uneven in 2 directions. Wow, I have a lot of control. I'm just going to say go upward. Tell it how far. I'm going to go 3, so I'll type 3 upward. I can do extra stuff. I can make it taper 5 degrees outwards. Oops. Oh no, I didn't want the taper. What do I do? Okay, so if I open the extrusion and click on it once, this little tab comes up and I can double click on the edit and I can get rid of that taper. 0. I can always go back and change stuff. It's so cool. Now, it didn't show the dimension, but it does have it inside of itself. Tells me there's the extrusion sketch I use, and I can still go back and change that sketch. I can go back and change it, and it'll change it there too. I'm going to do Control Z to go backwards. So there we go. Gives me a lot of power. I know all about this thing. Okay, this part. What's really cool is if I look, I just click this little arrow here and look at parameters. This bar comes up, and if I double click, I can see all the dimensions, and I can just type them in. I don't have to go back and forth. 4, 1, 2.5, minus zero point 0.5. This is a designer's dream when you're talking about parts. Okay? So there we go. That is the essence of how parts work. Now, you don't have to do this. You might want to follow along if you'd like to. But in another video, we're going to kind of put all these little skills together. This is just a demonstration for you. Okay, so always remember to save your work when you're done. And there we go. I've got my part. IPT file.